watch me go from like coaching you guys and hot seating you to like, and we're live. All right, you guys. So I wanted to open with something I was just sharing with BIP that I think would be really, really valuable. And that's the difference between selling a product and actually selling the vision, selling the emotion. You've heard me say this, but I feel like we just articulated this really well. You guys know I have a 6-year-old child, right? So go in the chat and say yes. His name's Zach. Put Zach's name in the comment section. So I do. I have a 6-year-old little boy. His name's Zach. He's very, very driven. If you've been following me on Instagram, he's been working me for a character upgrade in one of his online games that he's obsessed with, and literally it's almost impossible to get a character upgrade in this game without the parent paying $100 or $49. $49 or $100. And it's quite frustrating actually, because my kid, I've Googled and YouTubed on how can he get the upgrade. And my son even asked to watch tutorials because he was willing to put in the work to get the character upgrade, which makes me happy as a parent. However, every tutorial that we found, the tutorial trainer was saying that it's virtually impossible to get a character upgrade. It's definitely impossible for a 6-year-old to get the character upgrade. Like, we're talking some serious gamers, right? So long story short, I've got that in my head that he really can't get his character upgrades, but I'm not giving in to doing this $100 upgrade for him. 4 days my kid has been working me from the minute he wakes up to the minute he goes to bed. And my husband is teaching him enrollment, right? Teaching him enrollment. So along the way, my son has actually gotten even better at enrollment, and he actually enrolled me yesterday. Not only did he enroll me, he threw in a limiter, which he said, if you do this, Mom, right now, I'll even throw this in for free. Okay, now this is powerful to get, because if I would have known this at 6 years old, I can only imagine how much more confident I would have been, or even how much more all in I would have been at changing the world, right? I can't imagine where I would be today. And I'm not saying everything is money, but money touches a lot of good things in this world. It really does. It really does. When I can write a check to a client for a Facebook advertisement campaign to give them a boost and nobody needs to know about it. I don't promote it. I don't say, oh, I just did this for my client. Look at me. No, there's a lot of things behind closed doors that money gets transferred from me to different causes or people just because. Right. And so I think it's a really powerful community to be a part of the Heartcore community, because I'm not the only one who's like that. So are our clients, which is powerful. But let's go back to the conversation that my son has learned this early. So he got the upgrade. He officially enrolled me and he got the upgrade yesterday. Now you can see how strong my kid is by just knowing that. So my husband and I have gone back. We've had parenting coaching. We're all in on being the best version of parents we can be. And we were at one point, we're like, our son needs a really, really strong authority figure. Now I know my husband's strong and I'm strong, but what was happening is that we were finding ourselves being controlling over our son, and he's already controlling. So we didn't want to make him more controlling, because more controlling and more intensity actually doesn't create more growth. As much as a lot of people think it doesn't actually create more growth. And so we were like, we need a different outside, we're entrepreneurs, solve the problem. We need a different outside influence on him. So we joined him up for karate. Now here's where the coaching comes in that we were talking about in VIP that I think is super valuable. And that is that Master Joiner, who coaches our son, he literally sold us whatever it is, $120 a month karate sessions, right? You can come, he basically the offer, right? Here's the bullets. You can come 5 days a week. He has one private, or 3 days a week in group. He has one private session with me every single week. And basically that's the package. And then he gets upgraded to these, white belt, yellow belt. He's got to get his stripes. He's got to pass these tests, blah, blah, blah. So million karate studios. We just happened to walk into that one, and that's where he ended up. Well, that's a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a problem, because if we would have went down the street, we could have walked into the other karate space. If you're doing marketing online, Your product is right next door to everybody else's product in your industry. Okay, so it's not about competition. It's actually about how do you love people well? What type of leader are you? So here's what I suggested to the person who runs a dance studio. She goes, I run a dance studio. She's selling the same way Master Joyner's selling karate. If Master Joyner was to literally tell, like if he could, I'm sure he knows why people buy his product. Well, why did I buy? I didn't buy karate. I bought discipline for my son. I bought a different authority figure for my son. I taught manners, I bought manners for my son. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that's why I went in karate. I went in karate because I wanted my son to be a better human being in the world. And I felt that karate would give him that discipline and, that his teach him how to go all in on things so that, because he's very talented. He's like his father. They're both super, super talented. Talent doesn't end up at the top. It just doesn't. And neither does work ethic. They're both great to have. They're great boosters, but the most talented people are not at the top. Just look at the most successful entrepreneurs. Most of them didn't finish college or even high school. Okay, so it's not the most talented or the smartest at the top. And it's not just the highest work ethic, although that helps. It's actually leadership. It's developing the ability to lead. You have to understand human behavior and learn how to work with other humans on this planet to be able to build a team, build a product that people want, not a product you want, but a product they want, and sell it effectively, which selling is leadership. So now go back to karate. So if Master Joyner said to me, Shanda, so I understand you want to put Zach in karate for all these reasons. You want him to be disciplined. You want him to be this. You want him to be that. So if he said, well, in 3 months, your son is not going to have all of his discipline. He's just going to understand how to follow the rules at that point, how to be respectful. And by the way, Master Joyner had that conversation with me. He said, Zach would be in karate. And he'd be like this. Okay, boys, run. And he'd go, Zach, run. Zach, pay attention. Pay attention. Go. All right, Zach, you got 5 push-ups. Go. My son did more push-ups in his first 3 weeks of karate. I was sitting there going, is he ever going to get this? Now my son is crushing it. Crushing it. What did I buy? Karate? Or did I buy this little human being getting his stuff together? I bought this. I didn't buy karate. And in fact, what makes me loyal? The way Master Joyner trains him. I like that Master Joyner sees more talent in my, like he said to us the other day, I've never seen a little boy this talented. He's like, I've never seen a little boy this talented. Now, if we can get him to go here, do you see what, like he's personal developing my son. And that is much more important to me than him being on a soccer league or whatever, unless I was getting that. But you see, if I put karate, soccer, gymnastics, whatever, these are just things, activities, and they're a dime a dozen. You don't want to be a dime a dozen out there. You want to be, what are you really doing for people? What is the transformation, the point of transformation that you're actually selling? And so if Master Joyner would have really done an effective job in selling me, he would have said, Shanda, in 90 days, if you want to go month to month, that's fine. But in 90 days, Zach's just going to learn how to be respectful. He's going to look you in the eyes, but he's still going to ignore you. He's still going to do the things that kids do. But in about 6 months, 10 months, a year from now, Zach is going to know his power. He's going to know that he matters. When he walks into a room, he's gonna walk up to the little kid in the room that doesn't know anybody, and he's gonna take responsibility for that little kid. This is leadership, guys. And I'm not kidding you. When there's a new kid that joins karate, every single one of the kids goes in front of them, introduces themselves, and shakes their hand. Right? When one of the kids is struggling, they don't just leave them struggling. They go over there and they help them. That's what they do in the karate. I started with just taking care of my son. And then I realized, wow, there's all this really great leadership in karate. Anybody feeling me right now? You can see it. Now, do you think if Master Joyner would have made me an offer where he painted me the vision that where my son's going to be in a year, it's going to take a year to get there. So if you want to pay a higher price, look at that positioning. If you want to pay a higher price and go month to month at $120 a month, you can do that. And you get all these bullets, which everybody thinks the bullets of what's in your products and services matter. They don't. They don't. Everybody's got the same shit you do. They don't. Do you know what I mean? What matters is what your intention is as a leader when you sell. That's what's important, because you're leading an end result. So if Master Joyner was just focused on getting these kids to black belt and tactics, that's a very different leader than this man that says things like, I really want to make sure I'm not too hard on the kids. There's certain kids that I know I could push harder that need it. Like your son, Shanda, is one of them. If I'm harder on him, he'll excel. But like that little boy over there, if I push on him the wrong way, he'll decrease. I like that leadership. Who else likes that leadership? Who else wants a leader for themselves and other people and their kids, their nephews, their grandkids? Who else wants a leader like that, taking care of the heart and the mind of someone you love, right? That's what makes you stand out. How do you sell? How do you sell? Are you continuing to sell the dance class or the massage therapy or the performance coaching or what? Fill in the blank. Are you selling the stuff or are you selling the vision? Because the only way somebody can tell if you're their person, it's how you articulate that vision, which goes back to what I talked about last Saturday around the empathy model. All this stuff kind of comes together. If you don't know what I'm talking about in the empathy model, go to my YouTube channel and look for me in a jean jacket. It was last Saturday that I trained it, okay? And build that out. You go do the homework. I say, and we're developing this even more in our company, I'm a 6-inch putt, which means I'll help you get it in the hole and win the game. But you have got to do the homework. You got to get the ball down the fairway. If you knock it into the bushes, you got a challenge in your life right now. You got to get yourself out of the bushes and back on the fairway. And I will show you how to have a home run. I'll show you how to have a hole in one. You know what I mean? I'll show you how to win the game. But you have to do your work. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple seconds and I want to acknowledge, I wanted to share this to VIP. VIP, I almost forgot about this piece of the story that I wanted to share. So I got a phone call from a great friend of mine last night. You guys know I'm biblical, right? So I don't care if you're into Catholic or Jewish or New Age, whatever. I'm all about everybody having their belief systems. I personally am non-denominational Christian. So I'm not about religious. I'm about my relationship with God. And I happen to read scripture to be able to, that's like my guiding force, right? And so I have a lot of friends of mine who you would never know, very, very, very powerful people that are also Christian. And they don't talk about it. And so I sent a friend of mine asked about a mastermind I'm in, long story short. And I said, I'm really tired of the Lamborghinis and the jets. So I said, I'm tired of the fame and the fame and the fortune conversation. Like I'm over it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just over it. I can buy a Lamborghini. I don't want one. I have a $200,000 car, G-Wagon out there. I have it because my son's safe in it. It's one of those things. So you can see my practical mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel safe in my G-Wagon. Somebody hits me, it's like the thing is a tank. And so for my son, I'm very fortunate that I have the cash to be able to go do that. And so I really do appreciate the value that money creates in people's lives, but I'm just not into flashing that stuff around. Do I like flying private? I do. I really do. Why wouldn't I? I don't have to go through the airport. I drive the car up, get on a plane. I don't know if you've ever flown private, but you just drive the car up to the side of the plane. You get out, you get in the plane. They give you a cocktail or a bottle of water and you sit there and you take off from the runway. You get there. There's nothing to go through again. You get off the plane. I mean, it's a really nice experience. Okay. But I don't need to take 20 pictures of me in front of the private planes that we go in. Like I don't care about that stuff. It's not what I'm interested in. So that was our conversation. I said to Scott, I said, my friend Isabel and I, who does happen to run a company that's $40 million a year. And just so you know, she has a very, very slim staff that works with her. And she spends most of her time with her children. She's a content producer like me. I could create content all day long. And she doesn't want to run the company. She wants to just take care of people. So she's designed her life to do that. Okay, so the three of us are talking about creating a mastermind that is like this mastermind for people who are interested in doing things with God, but not a paid mastermind. This is only 15 people, and you have to have a requirement of X amount of income to be able to be in it, because we want to work with what's God saying. So I'm digressing a little bit, but like literally I will get blueprints from the Holy Spirit and I'll look in scripture and it's right there in scripture and I'll just follow it. My team knows it. I'm like, hey guys, I know we're not supposed to do this. That's not part of the formula, but I heard the Holy Spirit today, we're going to do this. And then we'll do it. And it's like a faith builder for the whole company. Cause it's like, wow, that shouldn't have worked. And so that's what keeps me on my toes these days. Like I love that. I love that. And so I'm talking to Scott yesterday, talking to Isabel, and they're like, yes, we should do it. And Scott calls me right away. He says, Shanda, I have a friend who he's one of my mentors. He's 70 years old. He's the sharpest guy I know. He said he owns 15 Burger Kings. He has 10,000 employees. And I guess Burger King just gave him, like the franchise company just gave him a Lamborghini and a Rolex watch. And he was like, what am I going to do with a Lambo? And so you know what he did? And this is really cool. He took the Lamborghini and the Rolex watch and he sold them. And he took the money and he multiplied it. And then he gave it to his team. So he multiplied it and gave that blessing to his employees. And I was telling my husband this last night. I was like, that's leadership. I want a mastermind with someone like that, right? I want to hang out with someone like that. Like I'm interested in that versus like, okay, I did $20 million this month. It's like Isabel doesn't talk about how much she makes ever, right? Scott doesn't talk about how much he makes ever, unless it's in the context of it will make a difference for someone. You know what I mean? Like this video sales letter, she spends $1 million a month on Facebook ads. Do you have the leadership, or let me say it in more practical ways, do you have the balls to pull money out of your house and give it to a team because you're going to burn through hundreds of thousands of dollars until that funnel works? Do you have the guts to do that? She did. And that's why she got there faster. So when I say things like, you can't stop it, you don't have enough, or you don't know how to find the money or whatever, I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I'm not just telling you that. It's the only way through is to solve the problem and not stop at the breakdown, because it's a rite of passage, just like having a baby. It's a rite of passage. If you can't figure out how to solve the problem in front of you, you ain't getting more, because you can't steward it. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And I'm saying you can steward it. You can grow it. You can multiply it. I've seen it so many times. It's crazy. I wish I would have spent this whole hour with you right now, just lining up all my clients to go boom, 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 and just tell their story. You would all, if I dropped an offer after that, you'd all buy, because of the fact that it's unbelievable what people are doing right now while other people are still waiting. So it's totally freaking cool. If you've had a breakdown, I have them every day. So they're not going away. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're not great. It doesn't mean you're not smart enough. None of that's true. I hope I'm getting through to somebody right now. None of that's true. What matters is what is stopping you right now. Are you solving it? And are you solving it fast? Because money loves speed. I can't tell you that. This is not a Shandaism. So the decision that you're battling with right now must be solved. You cannot keep dropping balls and making up excuses why you're dropping the balls. As long as you do that, you will live in the same box. There is no formula. that will get you through that box except leadership. Okay, and I'm not making an offer for leadership. Go follow John Maxwell. Go listen to his podcast. Do whatever you can to get yourself. If you did the homework last night, congratulations. Who did the homework? Go in the chats and tell me who did the homework, who made offers last night, right? And if you didn't, you're in the box. Break out. I'm standing here saying, come on, break out. It's just a little bit of action. Nobody's going to bite your head off. I promise you, you will not die from taking action. You will, in fact, be completely liberated. I want to take a moment and I want to let Aliza Dolsch, Dosch, you are receiving $1,000 from me for doing the homework. You are receiving $1,000 from me for doing the homework. $1,000 just for doing the homework. You know, people were messaging me on Instagram saying, in the chance that I might be the winner, I just want to let you know that I got a sales call from generating this work yesterday. I saw people do $20,000. Anybody here in VIP, did you actually generate some income from this? Raise your hand, go like this to me. If anybody generated some income directly. Astrid, let's share real quick.
I actually did. For me, the blockage was first the urgency, making it urgent for now.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I had clients calling me and booking appointments. And out of this, I have my VSP done.
Okay, so you're in leadership right now.
Yes.
That's so great. She's in our leadership process. That's what I'm saying. It always comes down to it. So her VSP, by the way, is after she's done the 2 intensive vision and breakthrough beforehand, they're in practice and they have to pick something called a VSP, which is a vision stretch project. And so hers obviously was financial and you've now hit it.
It was actually getting the client into my coaching program.
So good. I love it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That's a great use of the day. Who else made some money yesterday? Just go like this to me because lots of people have their hands up. Who else made some money yesterday? Amber, go for it.
Yeah, I offered some additional services and there's $700 of bookings from yesterday, but I made it a point to make some life offers too. I found the money for HCL for myself and I reached out to my mom. She's an angry old woman. I love her to death, but I want her to enjoy the rest of her life. And she told me I was crazy, but I'm just gonna keep it. I love her to death. So it made sense to me. And then you talking about this today, like I am getting those intentional nudges. Like you literally showed up in my feed when I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And yesterday, I shared it in Facebook, but I also offered, I won't take all the time, but I offered a homeless woman a job from this because I've seen her on the corner. I've given her food, I've given her things, and I know that she's living under the underpass. And again, I'm not here to save her, but in the moment, it felt in my heart that even if I just gave her that little bit of hope, that maybe she would make a change.
That's really powerful. Just so you know, in scripture, that's one. I actually think, intuitively, I think the reason why Tony Robbins is so well taken care of is because he takes 10% or more than 10%, and he actually generates money for the homeless. And it's one of the things that's actually written in scripture, if somebody's hungry, to take care of them and feed them. So like a lot of people don't know the scriptures. And so it's powerful because you get blessings. So expect a blessing and look for it. Like expect it and look for it, because scriptures, I'm not trying to get all scripture on you guys, but I mean, whether it was Wayne Dyer or the Bible, like whatever your belief system, you know what I mean? Like somehow, like if it's Wayne Dyer, it's okay. But like, you know, it's called double-mindedness. And double-mindedness is when we worry and that it actually blocks miracles. It's written in scripture, right? It blocks miracles. And so worry is actually a sin. And so you want to do everything you can not to. So like expect the miracle. Like
Yeah,
look.
and I've noticed even just in this week with you, I'm in HCL, I'm in leadership. I can't wait to hear what the PACE offer is because Matt keeps talking to me about it. But that's what I've done for too long. I'm trying to control the outcome instead of leading or taking the cues and pivoting, as you said, instead of being in control from start to finish.
So good. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Amber. Okay, you guys. So I know that I saw in the Facebook group, I saw so many people making money. And I know that some people didn't. So I'm going to encourage the people who, whether you made money or not, but you took action, to encourage people in the group to take action, right? And how do you encourage somebody? Just like Master Joyner, if he would have went in and talked to me about the vision of what we're really doing here with my son, think about entrepreneurs, because that's the audience in the Facebook group, and go into the Facebook group and think about the rest of the entrepreneurs. This is what evangelist leaders do, right? And when you do that, I'm not kidding you, watch it. Like, this is how I started figuring out business, is I started to think, how can I give more to the people around me? And not even with no expectation, just to be that type of human being. And when I started to do that, you're going to see, as you're sharing, you'll notice that, you know, when you have an outer body experience, when it's like you're talking and it's so good. Have you guys ever had that, where you're talking, like you're speaking, you're in the flow, people call it. It's so good that you're almost learning from yourself. If you get into that flow state, it's because you're genuinely giving. You will solve a problem. You will solve a problem. And so when that happens and the problem solution comes up, take action on it really quickly. Just trust me, and I want to hear from you guys who do it and see what happens from it. Okay, just trust me. Trust me. I actually teach my 1% clients how to make offers like this. Okay, like, I can't go into that here, but just trust me. You'll have a problem solved. Okay? Now, I want to look at this. So we want to talk about leads. Okay? And so in order to talk about leads, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. First of all, like, who has your customer or client? Who has your customer or client? We want access. Is that how you spell access? ACCESS? Okay, good. We want access, right? And so who has your customers or clients? Who has them? Think about that right now. Maybe you can write down on a piece of paper. So for me, people who are teaching speaking, people who are teaching how to do digital courses, people who are teaching entrepreneurs how to like taxes, right? Like how to like keep more money. People who are also teaching lead generation, people who are teaching people how to do events. All those people have my customer or my client, right? Write down a couple for yourself right now. Just don't wait till after, because you probably won't do it. So just jot down a couple people, right? Who are some people who high level that have your customer or client? So under there, I want some bullets underneath there. Okay, so that's like, those are like your target of people that you want to work with. Okay, so if there's sub topics on that. So for instance, if I said like Russell Brunson has my client, right, teaching them funnels, then I might say, okay, or I might say, sorry, somebody who's teaching funnels, I might say Russell Brunson. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So that, like, I'm kind of getting more specific as I'm developing really even my own funnel around access to my customers or clients. Who has them? Okay, these are my partnerships. Who has them? The second thing is what's the reason? What's the reason for these customers or clients to get connected to you? So underneath that, this could be a webinar. This could be a challenge. This could be something you're doing inside of a Facebook group. One of my clients teaches how to monetize Facebook groups. I should get coaching from her because she's so great at that. We have a great Facebook group. It could be like this revenue challenge could be one of my reasons for people to connect with me, right? You guys have a reason to connect with me here. I have a webinar called Elevate Your Business that's a reason for somebody to come and connect with me. So write down some of the reasons. Okay, so some, you might think of it as tactics. You might think it like you can brainstorm. A reason could be I'm teaching a workshop. A reason could be I'm doing a talk in like a talk around a certain topic that would help entrepreneurs. You want to brainstorm some reasons. So go do that now. Brainstorm some reasons. Don't sit there confused. Just try. Do not sit there confused. Brainstorm some reasons. What are some things that you can create that give people a reason to connect with you? So this one could be a really big aha moment if you let it be. I had a realization in this area that I wasn't giving people enough of a reason to connect with me. Okay, and so some of you guys, any of you guys ever heard me teach stacking events? Go in the chat, right? Say stacking, right? Right. So you guys put the word stacking if you've actually heard me, because then I'll know what that is when I go back and look. Okay, so when I teach you guys, I'm not going to teach it now, but you guys who have taught it to before, right? We often teach that in our list building program as well, in the live intensive. That the way I realized that I had a breakdown is because I wasn't giving people enough of a reason to connect with me, because I wasn't doing enough, like events or campaigns or retreats, or I wasn't doing enough of them in my calendar to give people a reason. Got it? And one of the things I think is really kind of special about, at least in my company, and it's also going to be in your company, whatever you're doing right now, you're probably not going to be doing in 2 years from now, or even a year from now. So right now, because of COVID, I've been doing a lot of training live. Normally, you wouldn't have me training live. You would have like an evergreen product or something like that you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where you show up and the trainer's not there and you're trying to discipline yourself to just stay in the seat and learn, which is so much harder, isn't it? It's crazy. It's the same amount of time, but it's so much harder watching something that's pre-recorded than it is to watch something live. It's so crazy how that works. It's like, I think it's accountability. Anybody else think it's that? I actually think it's accountability. Like we feel more accountable when we know that currently in this moment, we're both live and we're both sitting on each side of the computer. I really think it's accountability. So, but that's one of the benefits right now is that there's a reason for people to connect with me right now online or in person, because like I'm not going to be doing it live all the time. It's not possible for like the amount of companies that we run and the things that are on the docker for me to do. Make sense? So the third thing is the transformation point. So transformation point is your offer. I'm sorry, that's such a mess, guys. Is your offer. Okay? So this is who has my customer or client. This is why are they connecting with me, giving them a why to connect with me. And this is your offer. Got it? And that's your offer. So when you look at that, your offer, you're like, you need to have these pieces in when you're developing anything out. You need to have these pieces like looked at and analyzed. You need to spend time in it, because a lot of times what we do is we get caught in the motion of creating something that we're not actually thinking about these different pieces. So the way that I teach lead generation is not different. I'm going to flip this page. I'm actually going to put it over here. I'm going to put this over here and then I'll pull it back up. So the way that I teach lead generation is, so access wise, right? For number one, access, I could do Facebook ads. I could do partnerships. So like for instance, I can do a partnership webinar. So like I can go into, if you guys had email lists, I could say, Lise, if you want to send a couple emails to your list, I'll come do a training on this topic. You'll join me on the webinar, introduce me, and then I'll take it away and train. And then I'll come down to a transformation point at one point where I'll make an offer, right? And I'll split the revenue with you. That could be a partnership, right? Telesummits, video summits. I teach this all the time, interview series. The reason why I like it is, well, first of all, the proof is in the pudding. Everybody shifted to it. Every major player that I know of, or the majority of them, shifted to some version of an interview series. Whether they called it a challenge, and it really wasn't. It was an interview series, right? Or that they just named a challenge, or was it like a 21-day telesummit or whatever? They're actually all summits. Do you know what I mean? The whole thing, they're just putting different branding names on it because those different branding names literally get people excited to go after it, but they're just all the same thing. They really are. They're all the same thing. It's just the names it's like, if you want to sell more of your product or service, call it a method or an academy or, a formula. If you want to sell more of it, that's why people do it, right? They're like, I've got the Sumter method. You know what I mean? I've got, the Sedona method. I've got, it's just, you just put the name method or academy. I've got, Instagram academy. I've got, the high performance academy. It just makes it a thing. But you got to be smart as an entrepreneur and like, look at what is it actually? And do I need it? Okay. What is it? And do I need it? Okay. But it will raise the perceived value of things when you add those pieces to it. So there's, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, let's call it paid traffic. There are joint venture partnerships. I was teaching this to our VIPs. There's Instagram interviews. And I could go on for a list and a list and a list of different ways for you to access your ideal customer or client. I'm a big fan on the telesummits, and the reason why is if you line up, let's say 10 people to interview, and they all email their database to a registration page, then the cool thing is you'll probably build an email list of anywhere between 1,000 and 3,000 names. We do this all the time with our clients. Let's just say you have 1,000 registrations. If I did paid advertisement, I would have to pay $12,000 out of my pocket to be able to create a 1,000 person email list. That's real money. And the truth on that is I would also pay 10% of that. So I'd pay another $1,200. So let's call that, so 12,000 plus 1,200 because you give 10% of your ad spend to your Facebook guy, just so you know. So whatever you spend in ad spend, you give 10%, 5 or 10% to your ad spend. Plus I would spend at least $3,000 a month on the team that would run the traffic. So 1,000 person email list, this is the real cost. This is not Shanda like blowing up numbers. So now if you don't know your offer, or you don't know your funnel, or you're not good at sales, or you have any breakdown in those areas, how risky is that? Really risky, right, Maggie? It's extraordinarily risky. And so that's why I don't start entrepreneurs there. I start entrepreneurs with partnerships in the form of telesummits or video summits. Oh, ran out of space. Telesummits or video summits. And the reason why I do that is because I can teach you a lot about your leadership when I teach you how to reach out to experts, how to find them, how to do a good hook to be able to which is like an interview series hook, how to get them to say yes to mail for you, how to manage that relationship so that they do mail for you. And then the great thing is you have the cost of a virtual assistant, right? You have the cost of a virtual assistant, a VA, and then obviously people have the cost of me. But the cool thing is this monetizes really fast. It monetizes really fast. Do you think if you built a list of 1,000 people that you might have 10 of the 1,000 people that want to pay you $1,000? Yeah. So you could convert $10,000 out of that, literally. And this is not a money. I'm not trying to say that you're going to do this. I hate that I have to say that because I could line up so many people and you could hear their success stories. But unfortunately, I have to say that. So this is not a money guarantee, or I'm not insinuating you're going to do this. I'm just trying to lay out a plan for you right now. If you did a telesummit, you could have this done in about 45 to 60 days if you did a 1-day interview series. I could show you how to monetize a thank you page, which means you make money before you even have to sell a product, and you make money by selling the recordings plus some other things to bundle it, and then you make money. We get a virtual assistant to set up all the technology. Why do you think I own a virtual assistant company? Right? Like, that's why I didn't wake up one day and go, I want to run a virtual assistant company. No, I found a huge problem in the virtual assistant world, and I'm sending all my clients to a company called hiremymom.com. And what was happening is the virtual assistants were selling them stuff that they don't need. My virtual assistants don't upsell you. They don't upsell you. Do you know what I mean? That's not what they're there for. In fact, they would be fired if they upsold you. And so these virtual assistants are upselling my clients on websites and things like that. And I'm just like, oh, you guys don't need any of that. Just trust me. Let me coach you, you know? And so virtual assistant to set up all the technology. And then say we just sold 10 $1,000 products and you made $10,000 within 60 days. I mean, that's a great plan, right? That's a plan that you can be shitty at sales and still do. Now, you guys who are good at sales, who are my people who are good at sales, go in the chat and say, me, who's good at sales, right? So you might take that same strategy, and still there's 10 people out of 1,000 that want to buy from you. If you sold a $10,000 product to 10 people, you're at $100,000. So you can do that same strategy. This is the difference between actually being good at your sales and not. Now, if you got no leads, or it costs you a lot of time or a lot of money, are you guys following me here? Time is money. It really is. Think about how long you've been working on your business and how much time you've burnt through, right? And you start doing this math. I don't do Botox, and so I count my wrinkles. I'm like, there's another one. So I'm just joking, you guys, but no, kind of joking. I do notice them, but I still haven't succumbed to Botox yet. So, but my point is that if it takes me a lot of time to build my traffic, then I'm burning through hours of my life. Right? I'm burning through not taking vacations because I can't afford them, or I'm burning through not investing with the right coaches because I can't afford them. And the truth is that you have to learn how to be a money generator. And the simple way to become a money generator is within your leadership, choose what is the best source based on your leadership in your life right now, right? Are you ready to run paid advertisement? Right? You know your funnel, you've got some pockets, you got a lot of space on a credit card, you're ready to go, right? You got a good risk factor, you're willing to burn through capital, like my friend Isabel with her company, right? She pulled equity out of her house and she put it into Facebook ads and she burnt through hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then it hit, right? And so she was willing to roll that dice. I wasn't as brave as Isabel. And I didn't have a house. All my houses went into foreclosure. So I didn't have that option, right? But I know that even if I did, I just wasn't brave enough. I probably could have pulled out equity to like invest in a coach. My mind could have grabbed onto that. But the hundreds of thousands of dollars, I had really low self-worth. So it took, I gained my self-worth through God and building businesses, right? And so where do you need to be? Joint venture partnerships mean that if you're building it in JV, that means you're launching a lot. And so launching is great, You have other people mail for you. They're your traffic, which still happens in a telesummit. But the difference is in your joint venture partnership launches, you give a percentage away. It's usually 30 or 50% of whatever it is that you're selling that you're giving away. So that takes months. Okay, it takes months. I mean, lots of months. You guys spend the time building the relationships first. You need to understand your click-through rates, which means that joint venture partners want to know how many people click through on your page, right? How many people buy? You're like, I'm just getting started. I don't know. Okay, so that's a problem because they're making money from mailing you. So they want to know these things. If I'm going to mail for you, what's it going to generate for me? That's why I don't start people there. But I love people going there. We're building out a big division in this area of my company. I think it's a very, very smart move to diversify your traffic. But if you're not on that step, it would be a distraction. Do you hear what I'm saying? I didn't put podcasting on here. I don't really think that's much traffic. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's lots of downloads. I know all of that. I get it. But I've just never seen anybody monetize this really well. Okay, can you sell sponsorship on your podcast? Yeah, but in the process, who's paying your rent? Right? In the process, how many vacations are you missing? So I love this as a next tier program. And again, you're always going to see me, or a next tier focus, you're always going to see me speak in levels of leadership, right? So I start here. It's where I started. It's what I did when I was in real estate. I literally leveraged other people's email lists, and they basically promoted my product. Now the product becomes my reason for why to connect with me. So One Day Summit, right? A One Day Summit, who's getting some ahas right now? A One Day Summit, I can sell on the thank you page. So I can monetize the thank you page, which I love because I can get my money out right away. When I reach out to partners to actually interview them, people always say to me, well, why would they interview? Why would they mail their list and interview? Because they're offering a free gift. They're offering a free gift when you interview them. They're smart. Even if you have a small list build, like I can come on your guys' summits and it just works out this way. And don't ask me because I get asked all the time. Okay, so just don't ask me. I want you to do the work. I'm not low-hanging fruit for you, right? But literally, if I do go on my clients that are just learning, it seems like I always seem to make $30,000. So to go interview with you for 30 minutes and make $30,000, it's still a lot of money for me. You know what I mean? Like I value that. In fact, the more money I make, the more I realize that $20 is a lot of money and what it takes to earn that $20 or to create it. Okay, so a lot of people think it's opposite. As you make more money, people get more free. It's not the case. You get more free with cash when you start generating a lot of it because you start throwing it at things, trying to fix things. But then what happens is you mature up in your relationship and you realize that's not going to work. And so now you start to get responsible. So no different than a teenager driving. We do that in business as we get good with our money. So I recommend doing 1 day summits or even 21 day summits or 3 day summits. I'm not going to go into all those details. You guys who jumped into the offer last week, I'm going to train you guys next week. I mean, we're going to walk through every single piece. I'm going to show you what we've changed in the last 30 to 60 days around doing summits so that they monetize even better. So it's going to be a powerful 3 days. Okay. But for you guys who didn't jump in, I want you to really consider if you don't have your leads taken care of, you need to look at where am I playing? Am I ready to do paid advertisement? Do I want to spend, the next 5-6 months building relationships, figuring out page conversions and really some digital marketing so you can speak with them and then launch in like 6 months? Or do I want to do Instagram interviews, which are great? You could do that right now. It's super great. You could definitely do that right now. And if you're good at sales, you can create conversions right away from that, right? Podcasting, I'm just going to say, just wait till you've got a good amount of money. I know not everybody's going to listen to me on this. I know that. I think podcasting for the most part is entrepreneurs feel like a lot of them just feel good that they're putting something out and they get the excitement of the downloads. But if you can't take those downloads to the bank and you need money in the bank, then it might be in the wrong order. Okay, so just because you'll see some powerhouses doing podcasts, you're just part of their influencing campaign to double down, right? They're doubling down now on their reach, but they've already figured out their monetization is working really well. Do you hear what I'm saying? Yes? Yes? Okay. So great strategy. I love it. I have one. It's called Yeah, She's Driven. I love it. But I still don't spend a lot of time on it because of the fact that there's like, I stop work at 3 and I'm just relentless about not having to, I get resentful if I have to go past 3 o'clock. And so what would make me have to, because have to means I've given away my power. What makes me have to like work past 3? Too many things on my plate, which I have full control over. So we batch my interviews for our podcast, but we're still not as consistent as we really need to have a top level podcast. And it's just because there's other, like, I would rather do this with you than that. Do you guys see what I'm saying? This brings in real clients. Are there entrepreneurs on here that want to work with me or are working with me? Real customers and clients. Like I hope I'm being transparent enough, right? Like, it's like this actually not only allows me to create a legacy, it allows me to have real impact, and it actually does monetize. Like now, not later. Okay, so that's why I love it. So the one day summits, like as soon as we already had our summit, we had a 21-day summit. It was called Faith and Money. It was my first one that I did kind of with faith and money, which by the way, you Christians out there, I got the biggest backlash from you. We get to level up, you guys, and stop judging. Okay, that's why nobody wants to hang out with us that doesn't understand scripture because of judging. Let's lose that shit. Okay. So I was already set up with a 21-day summit when COVID hit. So it was actually great timing because I could monetize that right away without any sort of ad spend. Now, currently, I do paid advertisements, I do telesummits, and I'm podcasting. So I'm 10 years in. That's where I'm at right now. Okay, and we're going to now build out a really strong JV partnership arm, which is not me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in that role. Could I do that role? Yes. Would I love that role? Yes. But my business is not about me going like, oh, I love this part. It's like, no, I stop work at 3. So I have to hire a different leader to be able to do that. In fact, if there's a great joint venture partnership leader on here anywhere, message me, right? Because we're hiring for that role. So I'll go back to the one day summit. So when we go back to the 1 day or like a 21 day, which just means that I'm interviewing for 21 days, we did a 3-day summit. So if you're a nonprofit right now, we did a 3-day summit where we put 3 1 days together and we interviewed, I think it was like 10 people a day. And in between those interviews, I wasn't even doing the interviews, by the way. My husband was doing it with his friend and they were doing it. And they had a bunch of amazing people. Bob Proctor was on there. They had like some really great people. They mailed their email list and we built a nice, good size email list. And that email list got to consume live interviews with really powerful people for 3 days. I would pop in and I would pitch because I love making offers because it's like the point of transformation, right? So if we go back to originally when I was teaching you, right? Who has my customer or client? All models will fall into this. If it doesn't check these boxes, we shouldn't be doing it. So who has my customer or client? Those are the people I'm interviewing, right? What's the reason for a summit, right? So the 3-day summit, interviewing with all these powerful people around, at that point, they did kind of like recession proofing your business. It was about global leadership. And then point of transformation is an offer. This is where I'd pop in and I would make an offer and in between the speakers. And I love offers because I spend time creating an offer that I think would really benefit you. And so I'm excited about making the offer because it's like an olive branch to help someone. Does everybody take the offer? No, but that's not the intention. The intention is the people who need it and want it. They're like, oh, thank you. And I never make the same offer twice. And I always make really great offers. Every now and then I make the same offer twice, but it honestly is probably about 6-7% of the time. And it's because that offer was just really well received. Okay. And almost never it turns out as good as the first time, because there's something that inside, remember how I keep talking about leadership? Something inside of me doesn't get as excited about making an offer a second time. That's the truth. There's just something inside of me that I just don't get on the tip of my toes. Like, I can't wait to make this when I make it a second time. Almost always. So it never, because my leadership, even though the tactical of the offer is amazing, the way I'm leading it isn't like as exciting, even though the offer is incredible all the time. Do you guys see, is anybody having a breakthrough on that? Because this is really important, because you're speaking things. People get so connected to the speaking of things or the tactical and the formula that you miss that, are you excited about making this offer? Who would, it would really help them a lot if they could walk through some of this stuff and talk through some of this stuff with a coach? Who would any of you guys, would that help? Okay. So would you guys mind dropping a link? So I know from this morning, I have 9 coaches on today. So I have 9 coaches on, which obviously there are thousands of you. So I have 9 coaches on. So if you're a PACE client or you're already a client of ours, take this back to your coach. Okay, take it back to your coach. It's just smarter that way, because you want the person who's responsible and we're tracking your success with to keep taking you forward. Okay, so take a picture of that, take it to your coach so it can ground you, or maybe you've written notes, take it to your coach and do that. If you don't have us as your coaching, I got 9 coaches on. So, I mean, they're going to coach probably for like 30, 45 minutes. This is a significant coaching session that they're going to open up for you guys. So they're going to drop a link in the chat. You guys in VIP, they just dropped yours. hcbcoach.com, hcbcoach.com. Okay, hcbcoach.com. And so, they put it up on the board. Cool. So I'm going to keep going. So if you need that, grab it, and don't get upset at me if there's no spots available in like 3-4 minutes from now. Okay. Okay. So let's continue on this for a second. So I'll come in and I'll make an offer. And for the Global Mindset Forum, which was the 3-day summit we did, where my husband and his friend did all the interviewing, I made an offer. This is for you guys who are nonprofits or have a heart to do anything with nonprofit. I made an offer for people to donate. I think it was $197. It was donate $197. And I got 3 of our friends to add products, and we gave our products. So do you guys get what I'm saying? So it'd be like me taking my list building program and saying, okay, anybody who donates, and I've done that before, anybody who donates, because I think it's the most important thing for people to get in their business is to figure out their lead gen. I mean, if you don't figure out your lead gen, you ain't got no business. And it's the number one thing I keep seeing in the chats, which is why I still make that offer. But say I wanted to, like, if you donate here, I'll gift you my list building program. Do you know do you see what I'm saying? Like we raised $75,000 for Africa, which was so cool. And in the process, what were we doing? Well, we were building a list. So we're going to monetize the list in our business programs or our leadership programs. But in the process of generating what's in it for us, we also generated a difference in the world. I'm telling you, there's something that happens to us when we start operating like that. Because now when we're pitching the offer, it's not just pitching the offer, it's pitching it for transformation, right? Now, for you guys who don't care about nonprofits, not saying you don't, you probably do if you're listening to me, but say you're like, that's not where I'm at right now. I'm not interested in doing that. That doesn't inspire me right now. Or I don't know what I would give to, then that could have easily have been a bundle offer. Right? So I could have sold something for $197 in between the interviews. So think, the more I give, the more there's a reason, right? The more I give, there's more of a reason for people to connect with me and you. So when we're tired because we're doing any giving, you got to remember, check your give. And this is why giving more will unhook you from the emotion of failure, because you can totally fail. If you give more, if you give 3 times a month, so this should be an aha moment. Look at your calendars. Do I have 3 campaigns a month? I'm just using that word so that people grab onto it, right? A webinar, a challenge, a workshop. I'm not talking a 15-minute Instagram live. That's not what I'm talking. I'm not talking a 15-minute like Facebook live. I'm talking like where you're actually training something, giving something, doing a really compelling interview, right? What are you doing? If you could do 3 like one-day summits, like a one-day summit every single month, and then like maybe a webinar, and then maybe whatever that third thing is, maybe a second webinar every single month. So you got 3. You got lots of reasons for people to connect with you. Hopefully I'm simplifying the art of making money. Am I, you guys? Is this simplifying? So if I have 3 reasons for people to connect with me a month, well, you know what? Just by sheer numbers, like what Ash was teaching yesterday around building a pipeline day, right? That a lot of you guys monetize, just by sheer numbers, you're going to have your best months ever. Who's excited about that? Who's excited about that? You have your best months ever. So now you can unhook from this need to make money and really focus on, how am I generating my leads, which I recommend doing summits, unless you can do paid advertisement and all of that, and make lots of transformational moments for people to be able to jump in, right? Who jumped into my offer last week? Go in the chat and say me, right? Why did you jump in? Right? What was it about that offer that had you jump in? You know, it's powerful to share that on the chat, right? What made you jump in? So I want you to connect. Making offers is a point of transformation. And if you're not about yourself making money, and you're like, okay, I got 3 reasons every single month for people to connect with me, and I'm always going to make an offer, or 2 or 3. And it's totally cool, because if you're excited about the offer and you're listening to your customers and clients, then what's going to happen is everybody's going to be happy. Will people judge you for making offers? Yes. But the last time I checked, you weren't getting into business to create your friendship circles. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, that's not your role as an entrepreneur. It's not your role. I did not put up Hardcore Business, our company, to say, I need more friends. I want more friends. That never came into my mind, right? I wanted to make money. I wanted to create a legacy. I wanted to figure out what my purpose was. Like, I'm just talking kind of the journey, right? Of figuring it out. Now I want to raise the bar for God, because I give 10% of my money we opened up a nonprofit called Hardcore Gives. And I'm obsessed with growing the money in there and finding ways to get you to give there too, right? And so I give there, you give there, and Hardcore Business pays the admin cost, and we donate 100% of the money to God anointed causes. And that's just where I am in the stacking of my journey that makes me excited. So I'm going to end on this, and I'm going to give the homework. Okay. So I'm going to end on this. You are responsible for designing your business in a way that it will fire you up. Okay, so the reason why I can have a flagship product that I've sold for so many years is because, first of all, how many of you guys said you needed leads for your business? And it was one of the biggest challenges. A lot of you. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be selling a product, because I'm not attached to the product. I'm not attached to the product at all. I just know if you focus on anything else and you don't have a 7,000 to 10,000 person email list, you are running a huge risk in your business. COVID disrupted your life. We got more strains coming, right? Whatever your belief system is on this, if you're scared of it or you're not, it's irrelevant. It affects the world and the people that we serve. Do you hear what I'm saying, my friends? This is not about being right about what's happening in the world. We need to unhook from this conversation. and realize your customers and your clients have multiple different emotions around what's happening in the world. And you, my friend, need to make sure that you have enough lead gen coming in so that, first of all, if you say something to upset enough of them, it's irrelevant because it's still coming through. Do you get what I'm saying? So your business can run. And you need the constant feedback of those people to know that you're still serving the right thing. And then you are responsible for getting excited about what you're selling. For me, I change my offers all the time. What do you need to do? Right? What do you need to do? For me, I donate 10% of my income. For me, I'm interested in creating evangelist style leaders that also give, not just like if you want to come give with me, that's great at Hardcore Gives, but maybe you want to go start your own, or maybe you get what I'm saying. That's what's interesting to me. It doesn't have to be interesting to you. I just have to deliver what it is that you want. But that's what gets my why going. And for years, I fought with what's going to get me excited. So here's what the homework is. I'm going to invite you to make money today. I'm going to invite you to keep making offers today. Okay, I'm going to invite you to do that. So I'm going to invite you to go out there, and I literally am asking you to connect with at least 10 people today. Connect with, 10 people. Just go out there and connect with 10 people and come from the place of giving. Not like, that you're going to, I threw it up. Okay, you know that you're going to make an offer, right? You know that you're going to have a piece of transformation. But it would be great if you knew like what you would like to enroll in or sell. But I don't want you to focus on your offer. I want you to focus on who has my customers right now, right? Maybe you want to do an Instagram live or an Instagram interview. Maybe you want to reach out to somebody and say, like I said to Daryl in VIP, I was like, well, why don't you look he helps people create TED Talks, right? And so you'll have a TED Talk in a year or 6 months or whatever it is. I said, go interview people who teach speaking. And then when you interview the people just for 15 minutes, I said, contact 30 people today. I'm asking you to contact 10, right? And literally ask them if they'd be interested. If this is for Daryl, I'm just giving you an idea. Access, right? Ask them if they want to do like a 15-minute interview where you can talk to them about what they do with clients to help them be a better speaker. Then just pop in this one piece around like wherever the door opens. A door is going to open, right? Where you can share like a reason why people might want to connect with you more, which might be something like, did you know, Shanda, if he was interviewing me, that like what you just said is so powerful. We actually help people create TED Talks in 6 months. Someone like you could probably create it in like 60 days. I'm just making this up, right? And so I just want to encourage people to really lean into this interview. And then he might ask me another question. So he's not going off on a tangent to sell his stuff. He's just dropping a seed. And biblically, we talk about the power of dropping a seed. It will harvest if it lands on good soil, right? And so literally, if the people you're interviewing could end up becoming your customer, or when you interview them on Instagram, it taps into their Instagram people. And then when you drop a seed like that, there's other fertile soil, which is the mind, right, of people who are ready to sprout that seed. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't even have to do a direct call to action. It creates a point of transformation right there. Do you hear what I'm saying? Other people, you might want to actually just reach out to people that have hired you before and see where they're at. My point is go out there and have conversations with people and look for ways to serve and help. Just look for ways to serve and help. A door will open. I'm not even asking you to be pushy. A door will open because you're out there giving. When the door opens, take it. So a door might look like, does anybody need some, like what a door might look like? Maybe I'm doing a Facebook Live. And I do not recommend, I wouldn't stop at a Facebook Live because I said I want you to contact 10 people, right? So if you're gonna do a Facebook Live, I'm gonna consider that one, even though more people than that will watch it. I want you to go out, and if I did a Facebook Live, I might do a call to action where I say, maybe I'm teaching about relationships. If you're struggling with a relationship right now, go in the chat and say me, and people will go see me. Well, now I know that those people are struggling with a relationship. If I am a relationship coach, I would go in and I would instant message privately every single one of them. I saw your post. I just want to tell you to believe in yourself. And if you need any support, let me know. What's going on? And I would open the door myself. What's going on? And I would let them come back to me and talk to me, and I would serve them. I talked about connect, engage, service, make an offer yesterday, right? This is why I'm saying re-listen to these trainings, you guys, because there's money sitting right in front of you right now that you haven't opened up to. And you can open up to it today. Today. Okay, you can open up to it today. So I'd go and I'd start instant messaging with them, and I'd communicate back and forth. I can't tell you how many customers and clients I've picked up over the years like that. Because what are you hearing them talk about? What they're struggling with. Well, now you know what's stopping them. Ask them what they want. You need to know those two things to be able to ever make an offer. What do they want and what's stopping them? When you can figure out those two things, now, do you authentically believe that you could help them? If the answer is yes, then invite them to share their phone number with you and get on a phone call with them. And then talk through it. Serve them more, make the offer, see what happens. The doors will keep opening. It's amazing how transformation works. You don't have to push. You have to connect. If you don't connect and you spend the rest of your day in your house or being busy, I'm sorry, my friends, money's not going to come flying in the door. It's just not. I don't care how much you pray. You know, Jesus did not just stand there and just go, everybody's going to believe. He discipled. He went out there and created more disciples. He went out there and talked. He connected, right? Wayne Dyer did not build his empire at Hay House because he sat in his apartment and levitated, okay, or meditated. Like, that didn't happen. He went out there and he connected. You are going to have to go out there and connect. So I'm just tired of people saying, I'm going to manifest, and there ain't no daily action. So here's the prize tomorrow. The prize, the reward, the giveaway, whatever it is that you want to call it. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to look today before 5 p.m. today. I'm going to put you on a 20-minute stretch, though. I want you to connect in the next 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to connect. I want you to connect in the next 20 minutes. I can see the time that you go and you do either a Facebook Live or a post in the Facebook group. It timestamps it. So in the next 20 minutes, I want to see you guys come back in and share with me, what did you do in the last 20 minutes to connect with somebody and generate an opportunity for a door to open? If you make an offer, share that. If you sell something, share that. I want to see over the next 20 minutes what happens. So if you come in at 30 minutes, that's okay. Maybe you took the 20 minutes to create the result. But do not let the next hour go by that you don't take action. Okay, you have less of a chance of succeeding. So tomorrow I'm going to give away a bunch of cash to a bunch of people. So multiple people are going to win today. I want you to have an experience with yourself that money is easy to generate. And in order to do that, I really need you guys to go do this. Do I got a yes? Yes? Are we going to go do this? Yes? Okay. Tomorrow is an important training. My very good friend Michael Strasner is coming to train. He's going to show you how to get out of your box tomorrow, how to enroll at the next level of your life, and it's going to be powerful. He's coached me for years. He is an incredible trainer and coach, and I promise you, he's the only person who speaks at my events, is not a professional speaker, and has a standing ovation every single time. So not to put too much pressure on it, but you will definitely have a breakthrough tomorrow. All right, you guys, talk to you soon. See you in the group. Bye.